Peace to the tribe. Peace to the collective, man. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? So today is August 4th. It is 4:44 p.m. I didn't do that on purpose. It just is a cosmic alignment. Today we're going to be talking about the new moon in sidereal Cancer. The outline of this particular presentation, we'll look at the chart, we'll look at the Sabian symbol, we'll read about the nakshatra, deal with some metaphysics in reference to all of the things we just previously talked about, the metaphysical symbol, and also, just more or less deal with the metaphysics of it all. And deal with the metaphysics of it all. So let's just start this thing right now. Let's get into the presentation right as we speak. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. I'm just posted up at the office working on my book. But I said, man, I've been so busy trying to finish up the book that I didn't even look at the new moon. So I was like, that's Mando Dando. Got to look at the new moon. So you'll hear a lot of people say that the new moon is in Leo, and that's cool, but we're looking at the sidereal side of things. And the sidereal side of things puts the new moon in Cancer, right? And it's also going to be sextile Mars and sextile Jupiter. So it gives us a little bit of oomph if we're able to work towards our intentions. So we need to differentiate an intention from a desire or from a want. Quite simply, when you say I desire something or want something, 10 times out of 10, you'll never have it. However, if you intend to do something, you might not even say that you want it or need it. You'll just go and get it. That's the difference between intentions. And the power of intention is very, very, very powerful. And the reason why is this: the lunar cycle. Today is a new moon, okay? And the new moon has an effect on the human and animal behavior and physiology. No matter if you're a lion, a tiger, or a bear, or Charmaine Johnson from 53rd Street. The human and animal physiology are subject to seasonal, lunar, and circadian rhythms. So when we talk about lunar rhythms, we're talking about the waxing and waning of the moon. It's going to affect you in reference to your ability to set your intentions and act in your intentions. What's confusing a lot of times is that people enter their wants or desires and say, these are my new moon intentions, and nothing happens. So they give up on the science. But this is, something that you should try to get back to the drawing board. Think about things that you're willing to actually do over the next 14 to 28 days. What is real to you? What is true to you? Back to the analogy of the store. I've been to the store a lot of times, so I know how to get to the store. So that would be in reference to an intention. My personal intention is to finish the book. Now, for me, that's not a want or desire, it's an intention because I've written books before. And I've written books with less time and less information and less background or less help. So for me, you would think of an intention as something very simple to manifest. It shouldn't be something very hard or very difficult because that is a want and a desire. Although the seasonal and circadian rhythms have been fairly well described, little is known about the effects of the lunar cycle on the behavior and physiology of humans and animals. The reason that little is known, the reason that little is known is because these people don't want you to know your personal power and your personal majesty. I was talking about this earlier, how, in school, they don't even teach you about your soul. They don't even teach you about your emotions. It's like, I hate little Becky. And be like, no, little Susie, you don't hate little Becky. You hate yourself. You're projecting your self hate on Susie or Becky or whatever the case may be. Like, like we don't even teach our children psychology. You have to take it as an elective in high school, and then you major in it in college, and now you can't find a job. But the reality of psychology is that this will help everybody understand and understand themselves. Spirituality is the science of you. What do I mean by that? I mean that spirituality is the science. Hold on. They be switching it all up. It was a tab I was looking at, it then disappeared. But anyways, spirituality is about connecting to something that is higher than yourself. Whether it is your soul, your higher self, God, source, your ancestors. The science of spirituality is the development. It's basically fuck around and find out. So how could science know about what you could manifest through your new moon intentions? They have no fucking idea. That's your job as a scientist to fuck around and find out. The lunar cycle has an impact on human reproduction, in particular fertility, menstruation, and birth rate. So this is the time. This time is for people that are trying to have babies, that want to become mothers, that want to create something that they can like pour into. So businesses, you have to look at this from many different levels. But at the biological level, it could be your time to like really focus on having a child. If that's what you want, if that's what you and your husband want, or that's what you and your wife want, and you having a tough time with conceiving, you seeing everybody around you conceiving and you're not conceiving, this is the time to start working with the energies to help you conceive. Melatonin levels appear to correlate with the menstrual cycle. Admittance to hospitals and emergency units because of various causes are correlated with the moon phases. So if you work in medical professions, full moons is a crazier time than new moons. These are the times where you're more prone to get pregnant. And pregnancy might seem like it's related to sex, but if you are sexually active, you can have sex every single day and never get pregnant. Why? Because it's correlated with the moon phases. And this is the science of spirituality to really understand and overstand what's happening as far as the moon, because your life could be so random until you incorporate the moon phases, and then you become so intentional. One's in the chat, if that makes sense. In addition, other events associated with human behavior, such as traffic accidents, crimes, suicides, appear to be influenced by the lunar cycle. So, what is just this tumultuous, fucked up, horrible life is just a life that's outside of intention. One's in the chat if that makes sense. One's in the chat if that makes sense. So, let's look back at the chart. This Cancer energy is very, very auspicious. It's very magical. It's creation. When you deal with the mother and the father, you're dealing with the particular energy that allows you to create, whether it's a new life, new business, new home. Another energy that you want to look at when you're looking at Cancer is the energy of the chariot. Abracadabra. Cancer is a cardinal water sign, the first onrush of the element. People born under this sign can be very sensitive to their surroundings and so benefit from having a suit of armor to protect them from the harshness of life. The soul listen for Cancer is peace in action, and this refers to the peace attained in worldly actions. The chariot being about movement and actions in our spiritual endeavors. The science of spirituality is you. When you study spirituality, you are studying yourself. When you develop spiritually, you are developing yourself because you are a spiritual being. And the spiritual world will repeat this to you over and over and over and over and over again till it clicks. Because what happens to the spiritual being is that they get inundated by worldly actions. And then they forget the actions in our spiritual endeavors. So we haven't been meditating enough. We haven't been lighting a candle, keeping the candle burnt on our altar, keeping fresh water on our altar, uh, really processing the downloads that's coming because we're too busy scrolling. It gets real. So rising above the strong waves of feelings that the Cancerian has as a personality trait. So for the Cancers, rising above the strong waves of feelings is completely counterintuitive to actions in your spiritual endeavors. Because your feelings are random past events that you're trying to hold on to and bring into the present and create the intention into the future. So, what a Cancer might feel is a loop. And it also may feel like, damn, things are not getting any better because at what point do you rise above the strong waves of feelings? That's like wanting to get on top of the water, but staying under the water and then wondering why you can't breathe. At some point, you got to rise above it. You have to break through the barrier, which is called the top of the water, and learn how to tread. The Hebrew treth means fence or field. It links in with the qualities associated with the Cancer zodiac sign below. On the evolutionary path, Cheth represents enclosure, which is the container for spiritual essence or the soul within the body. Just as the charioteer has a suit of armor sheathing its body. So we can look at it like this. This is how I always look at the chariot card. This is the human body, the human vessel. This is the human life. Life is the vehicle or movement through it. Outside of Cancer is a bunch of random actions that a human being is going to take. Inside of Cancer is going deep within yourself, allowing the chariot to move. Outside of Cancer is a bunch of feelings and a bunch of I don't know what I'm going to do, a bunch of wayward movements. But inside of Cancer is deep intuition, and almost to the point where you don't even have to direct the shit. At the end of the day, you just along for the ride. And getting to that point is mastering Cancer energy. So let's get off this and let's deal with the Sabian symbol of this particular new moon, which is Cancer at 18 degrees. A hen scratching the ground to find nourishment for her progeny. Now, when we talk about this, the hen is a mother chicken. So we got to ultimately deal with the metaphysics of what mother means. Mother is the feminine, the soul. All of this stuff is code. If you're dealing with Cancer energy and you're like, damn, this is about me tapping into my actual earth mother, then you're going to be misdirected. It could deal with your earth mother, but at the end of the day, we're talking about the feminine energy or the soul, the affectional, emotional phase of man's being, both when seemingly bound and limited by sensate thought, and in its freed, exalted state. The soul is bound by the body. But even though it is bound by the body, it is unlimited once you realize it is perfect the way that it's supposed to be. Mary, the mother of Jesus, represents the soul that magnifies the Lord daily in the temple and through his devotions prepares itself for higher life. She signifies divine motherhood of love, and she also can be intuition. So once again, back to Cancer, back to chariot. What is intuition in reference to the chariot? It is motion. It is action. It is knowing exactly what you need to do because you have a soul. If you don't realize and understand and overstand that you have a soul, if you don't understand, overstand, and understand that you have a connection to something deep and spiritual, then you will just be a regular human being trying to figure it out, being scared half to death on Twitter because it's goddamn election season. And realistically, if the world was going to shit, what could you do about it anyway? So therefore, you have to follow your intuition more than ever now. There is a behavior, there is an action, there is a direction if you go within yourself and find it. That is the mythology, that is the metaphysics of mother. People would then try to relate it to their own actual mother, and you will be missing the point. Jesus, the perfected man manifestation, is conceived in the intuitive soul nature and is molded in its substance. The coming of Christ's body into activity is the result of an exalted idea sown into the mind. What is that exalted idea? It is spirituality. It is a science of you. It is your conscious mind being able to grasp a hold of higher consciousness. And that higher consciousness will show up in life as intuition. And spiritual development is the maturation of the soul. This is the nature of the mother. So the mother is an actual period of time. The father is an actual period of time that we can develop and cultivate and create. The soul is a device that you can utilize to manifest and recreate yourself, i.e., children, or recreate your ideas, an exalted idea sown in the mind. This is already taking place. So what would be the purpose of spirituality? To figure out what that idea is for you. If you know that the idea is within yourself, then you know exactly what you need to do. But if you feel like the idea is somewhere found in some other stinking booty bitch, then you is not ever going to find it. Ever. It is not found in anybody else but yourself. Oh man, but hood, she beautiful though. I don't give a fuck. The exalted idea is sown in your mind, and that is what spiritual development is about. You're not a man or a woman. You are a soul. You have to develop this concept because you are inundated with the false idea of gender. I am a woman. Hear me roar. The soul is devout and expectant. The soul is feminine. The soul is receptive to whatever you sow into it. It believes in the so-called miraculous as a possibility. This is the root of all magic. You are a magical person. You can create bunnies outside of a hat if you understood that you had a soul. And you developed it through meditation, not scrolling, not mindlessly fucking yourself over by wanting something outside of yourself. And that is not spiritual. That is materialist. A materialist has nothing for you besides the empty couch, TV, walls. Your soul believes in the so-called miraculous as a possibility. Mary expected the birth of the Messiah according to the promise of the Holy Spirit. She was overshadowed by that high idea. It formed in her mind the seed that quickened into the cell in due season. There were aggregations of the cells strong enough in their activity to attract the attention of the outer consciousness. And what is the birth and what is called the birth of Christ took place. So let's go through this again. There were aggregations of cells strong enough in their activity to attract the attention of the outer consciousness. So what is this actually saying? This is saying when you meditate hard enough, you got to meditate hard. When you go within yourself, when you get into a voodoo trance, ritual, drumming, dance, seance with candles and alcohol and dance to your soul, you just fall out in the middle of the pentagram that you inscribed on the floor. And you danced inside of that pentagram, you twerked, you goddamn squirted, you did all types of weird, freaky shit. That is an aggregation of cells strong enough in their activity to attract the attention of the outer consciousness. If you just sat there and watched goddamn Netflix and desired a big booty bitch that's not even checking for niggas that sleep with their mom, you 30, like, mom, can I lay with you? Like, she's not about to do that. You need to listen. I told people when I work out, I make shit happen. That's why I work out. Because the aggregations of the cells strong enough in their activity attract the attention of outer consciousness. It's almost clockwork. I get a cell when I work out. So I do work out to get healthy and to get fit and build that bedroom body. But at the same time, I know that it helps me financially. Some people go to work to make money. What is going to work to make money? That is an aggregation of a cell strong enough in their activity to attract the attention of the outer consciousness, i.e. direct deposit. But you can still aggregate the cells strong enough in their activity to attract anything that you want, but you must be intentional and you must understand a time and a place, new moons, because we've already broke down lunar and circadian rhythms. The lunar cycle has an effect on the behavior of the physiology of humans and animals. So let's finish this up in reference to Mary. Mary, the soul, the mother of Jesus, refers to the conservative conventional principle that suffers when the new order of life and law is set up. The soul has been bound by race, tradition, and custom. So listen, this is why we don't get into spirituality. You don't become psychologically sound till you turn 80. Because everybody that was enforcing racial, traditional customs are all dead. And now all you got is your old ass self to reflect on your old ass soul. You like, damn, we up out of here, ain't we? Yup. We had our whole life to do this, but what were we doing? Going to the damn fish fry on Friday because it was a tradition or as a custom. That's why I be in Detroit and I'll be just on my own little mission in life. And it'd be like, I understand why people don't actually see Detroit because they too busy dealing with the people of Detroit. They too busy going to the parties. They too busy going to the block parties, the clubs, the bars, the events. You don't like the city, which is living. People don't actually deal with the living city. They deal with the people of the city. And that's anywhere that I've lived. So the soul can't be found through the relationships of the people in the city, at the kickback, at the club, at the bar. Those are actually soulless people. Now it's coming to life and its travail reveals the Lord's body. So this is spiritual development. Spiritual development has nothing to do with your race, tradition, or custom or gender. So back to the Sabian symbol. A hen scratching the ground to find nourishment for her progeny. Now, we got to look at this metaphysical and not literal, but we can look at it metaphysical. We can look at it literally. A mother scratching the ground to find nourishment for her kids. A woman working hard to feed her children. A man working hard to find nourishment to feed his business that he just started, his construction company. Right? Whatever you create is considered your progeny. You create your children, but you also create your business, your YouTube page, your mixtape. So we got to look at it metaphysically to understand it. Now, whatever you do create, you have to find nourishment for it or it dies. So you had a music career, but you haven't promoted your CDs. You haven't done nothing. You haven't even made no songs, made no beats. Guess what happens to your music career? It dies. You was doing porn. And now you haven't, it's, hey guys, I haven't, been on here. I found a boyfriend and he don't like my OnlyFans. So yeah, I can't really do it. Nobody is checking for your OnlyFans no more. Whatever you create, you have to nourish. One's in the chat if y'all can clock that. The practical concern with everyday nourishment necessary to sustain one's outreach and activity. So it's not necessarily about a baby, although it very well could be. Fulfilling life's responsibilities. In order to deal with responsibilities, you must be accountable. We talked about that yesterday. So the nakshatra that the new moon is in, and a good life hack that you could do to figure out the nakshatras, you could go over here and click all planet nakshatras, and it'll bring up this page and it'll show you where the sun and moon is at. It's at the Ashlesha nakshatra. So what is the Ashlesha nakshatra? The literal meaning of Ashlesha is one with adherence. I went to public school. Don't know what adherence means, so I have to look it up. The word adherence comes from the verb adherar, which means to cling to keep close, to remain constant. This is why if you want a child during this energy from August 2nd to August 15th, monitor when you're ovulating so you can know you will have much more of a positive chance to have a child. Why? Because this is the area where you are connected to the mother. Mother just represents your ability to be magical. Another way of looking at this is your DNA. Your DNA is something that you have to cling to, keep close, and remain constant, because if your DNA was off by a degree, you would cease to exist immediately. Your DNA has to be perfect. Ashlesha could mean intimate connection, a coil. Another term for this is kundalini energy that is coiled at the base of your spine rather. That is a serpent. This serpent can awaken you. A lot of this is really tapping into and really opening you up to magic. The sun enters Ashlesha on August 2nd and remains there till August 15th. If you are born during this period, your sun is in the Ashlesha nakshatra. The heat puja is the worshiping of the spiritual flame and is performed on the new moon day. So this should be a ceremony, a significant ceremony in relation to you, a candle, a lamp, a bonfire, okay? And really understand that this is your soul, that you are giving, you honor everybody on their birthday. This is a way of honoring your soul in the proper energy with the sun and moon and Cancer conjunct Sirius. This is a very powerful time. So what will they do? Rituals up the ass all week. This week is going to be filled with rituals. Why, Hood? Because they want to distort the energy. They don't want you to know that you have power to set intentions with the sun and the moon during a new moon. They want you to fight over Trump and Kamala Harris, nigga. That's what they want. They want you to be mad that the cops done shot somebody. They want you to be mad at some form of injustice, some crazy news story. They waiting for something to happen so they could just incite your energy so you could get unfocused on your own path. But you got to be smarter than that. Here, the flame of light is an indication of the next generation. What are you creating? Are you clear about what you are creating? Why are you not clear about what you are creating? Because the emotions have you, oh man, I can't do this. This life is hard. I can't pay the bills. I can't do, it's so hard. I'm struggling so much. You don't even know who you are. If you knew who you are, if you knew who you were, rather, you would be so fucking powerful that the bills would be already paid for. The money will already be there. The love will already be there. You single, rubbing on your little clit every fucking night because you don't believe in God. You don't really truly understand spirituality as the science of you. So now these niggas ain't shit. I'm struggling. I'm getting my ass kicked because this energy is almost forgotten. When you look at the different deacons of Cancer, you have the Two of Cups. I'm gonna go through each of these because none of these energies niggas really want to deal with for real. Two of Cups. This card is called Love. Now, the Three of Cups. This card is called Abundance. So love, abundance. Now, what is the Four of Cups finally? This card is called Luxury. So love, abundance, and luxury is your birthright. It is natural to you. If you can understand spirituality or a relationship with the mother is receptive to whatever you program it to. Like, so with binary code, it's zeros and ones that create everything that you see digitally. Everything that you see is nothing but a set of zeros and ones. Every technological advancement can only advance by a series of zeros and ones. Because zero, which is the womb, and one, which is the phallus, is the mode of creation. All we care about is materialist, is the one. We don't care about the zero. We don't care about the love, abundance, and luxury, which, like, the zero is the point that allows us to create. It is the primal point of creation. If you are a woman, you are tapped into the feminine. You are tapped into the soul. But guess how they trick you? Guess how they fuck you over? They make you want to be a man your whole fucking life. Since kindergarten, they've been putting you against boys. Unless your mom said, "Oh, I'm gonna put you in an all-girls school your whole life." If you was in school with boys, you was competing with their asses. So this area goes all out the window. How do they fuck over the boys? They give you a single mom to raise you. So therefore, you don't even understand Capricorn. You don't understand masculinity, and it's all spiritual and it's all astrological. But then at the same time, people act like this isn't a part of the plan. They're taking away your science. They're not teaching you psychology, and they're giving you all the tools to turn you into a worker. That's what school is. You either going to go to work or you're going to go to prison. Because if you don't work, you're going to be outside of the money spectrum. So you're going to do crimes and your ass going to end up in jail. So most of us is just going to work at our jobs and that be that. But working at a job is not love, abundance, or luxury. Far from it. It's slavery. So therefore, it is a level of intention to just be like, all right, let me figure this out. And you could deal with the miraculous through your spiritual development. But most people do not care because they just want to be men. They want to be ones. They don't want to be zeros. Okay? So let's see what else we got over here. It is also worship for the good health of the baby in the womb because during this period, the pregnancy is confirmed. You may realize that the sun and moon are both in the nakshatra of Mercury. Mercury is going retrograde, which is good for us. Means Mercury is closer, meaning that our ability to communicate, our ability to get into the market, make some money is tapped in and tuned in. What will conventional astrologers tell you? Oh, this is a crazy time. Your computer is gonna mess up and all this type of shit. If you want to believe that, believe that. But if you want to tap into something and get into greater life, set that as your intention and work towards that intention every single day. Whatever you desire should be your focus. You should focus on nothing else but your intention. It should be nothing else. So make sure it's a good one. All right. Make sure you do some rituals in reference to the flame, to the fire, because that is going to represent your soul and your mother's. One of the symbols of this new moon is the pelican. The pelican feeding her children. And if you look at this, the children are basically eating their mom, and the mom is like letting them eat off of her. What does this symbolize? Well, this symbolizes your ability to really devote yourself to your Christ consciousness, to your ability to understand that you have a higher self that's going to make this life extremely easy. You're going to have everything that you want. You might have to work for it a little bit. It might not be handed to you so gracefully, but it might seem like it once you apply the action. Once you apply the self-sacrifice, once you just give up the ego. Here you go, ego. All you have left is love, abundance, and luxury. The ego would be the block or the barrier to this particular energy. How you are raised, race, tradition, and custom. Okay? What does Christ consciousness mean? Christ consciousness simply is the awareness of the higher self. Are you aware of your higher self? How aware are you of the higher self? Let's get some chats. Like, let me see, like, really, like, are you there? Is it hard to understand? Like, are you fully aware of your higher self and how it plays out in your real life? Because don't tell me you're aware of your higher self, but you getting your ass kicked and you confused. You lack intuition. That would mean that higher self is a far off concept to you. The awareness of the higher self, the awareness of the mother is love, luxury, and abundance. It is the chariot, it is the vehicle that is called intuition. It is the ability to know everything that you need to do at all times. And really developing it through meditation, really develop it through yoga, through spiritual practices, exercising, walking, things of that nature. Motion creates the emotion. So if you're not engaging your body, you're not actually in tune to the actual vessel, the armor of the soul. So with all this being said, like, you could look at it many different ways, but I just want to be simple. Christ consciousness is the awareness of the higher self, the awareness of the soul, the awareness of God. And when you have this awareness, you have a superpower. So when you're talking about setting an intention, when you're talking about working with the new moon, this is a perfect time to do magic. This is a perfect time to deal with the miraculous. This is a perfect time not to give up on yourself. Your dreams, your hopes, your desires, they can all manifest. And this is a message of hope. Faith. Faith without works is dead. So that hope and faith should be deeply tied into the action associated with the hope and faith. That is the intention in a nutshell. So, with this all being said, I hope this video was useful as we really looked at the sidereal explanation of the sun and moon in Cancer in the Ashlesha nakshatra. It has more to do with your kundalini, your spiritual intelligence, than your ego life. This is the connection to the mother, the connection to your creator. So, what is this opportunity like? This is like a person drew you on a piece of paper, and you can never talk to the person that drew you on a piece of paper because they got to work, they got to travel, they got to do all of the things. But for some reason, you have the ability to come up off that piece of paper and talk to your creator and say, look, bruh, you got me just in this particular situation. You got me at this house. You know what I'm saying? You got me with this car. How about you draw a different picture for me? Right? I've been in this picture for so long. Switch it up for me one time. If you were that actual person on the picture, would you take advantage of the opportunity or not? Answer in the chat. Would you take an opportunity to deal with your creator? See, the problem is most people do not think that they have a creator. They think that they are self-created, thus creating all of the problems and issues. When you were sucking cock, you should have been working with God. When you was eating pussy, you should have been working with God. When you was chasing hoes, you should have been working with God. When you was working at that bullshit ass job, you should have been meditating with your higher self. Now you wasted a lot of time to the point that you have developed a psychosis and you don't understand the relationship between you and your higher self. May you find it now, okay? May you utilize this new moon to do productive things, interesting things, good things, great things, meditative things, nature things, going out to the water things, letting go of the everyday monotonous struggle that niggas take part in for whatever reason. Okay. I hope this video is useful. Be sure to check out my website, hoodmystic.com. Book yourself a reading, things of that nature. White Rabbit is on there. The Substack is on there. Columbian Exchange is on there. Find me on Instagram. If you want to DM me, it's at the Hood Mystic. Email me, hoodmystic@gmail.com. And yes, I will catch you all on the flip side. Just want to do a quick video on the new moon in space of writing my new book that's coming out very, very shortly. That book is titled, let me just show it to y'all real quick if you don't know, Blue Magic. All right, learn metaphysical principles that pave the way to financial success. I mean, if you are rich, you don't need this book. But if you are struggling financially and want to figure out a way out of no way, let's learn some metaphysical principles together. I put out a video last night on being gratitude, on being grateful, exemplifying gratitude rather. Tune in and tap into that. Thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all for always rocking with me. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We keep it spiritual over here. You know what I'm saying? 90% spiritual, 10% ratchet. You feel me? But beyond that, man, I hope y'all have a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful new moon. Much love from my family to your family. Like the video if you haven't liked it. Make sure you subscribe and share the video. Peace, 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 peace.